Don't you ever interrupt me when I'm speaking again, understand?
I'm tired of being humble. I'm tired of letting people think they got a chance. The tribal chief is head and shoulders above everybody.
Hey, guys, it's Toxic Ring Scandal, Locker Room. Turnbuckle King here. We'll talk about Britt Baker out of AEW for WWE, the end of Britt Baker in AEW. Let's get the likes so we about to air some dirty laundry. Reportedly, Tony Khan's frustrated with AEW star Britt Baker removed from TV. They're saying that Britt Baker is widely unpopular backstage and she might be done with AEW. Now, after missing nearly a year of injury and other health issues, approximately about 9 months, Britt Baker returned to AEW last June for the All-In program with Mercedes Moné. Now, she wrestled twice with victories on Dynamite over Serena Deeb in October and Penelope Ford in November, which was the last match she had. But it says here, according to pro wrestler Keller, it said that she might not be back. Now, it says here that she might be done with AEW. At least the feeling I'm getting from people talking to in AEW, Tony Khan might have her in the same category as other wrestlers like, let's see, Ray Phoenix. We could say Ricky Starks. We could say Miro, just to name a few. It says that where they just don't get phone calls, they don't get called in to show up. They said there's a lot of frustration reportedly with Britt Baker. And he said he was told, and I quote, and I've heard this pretty consistently, she's widely unpopular in the women's locker room. One person said that no one ever wants to see her come back. Speaking of the women's locker room, they said that's a bold, broad statement. I commend someone in social media going, I'm a women's wrestler AEW and I want her back. Okay, fair enough. But I'm telling you that everyone's perception of her is that nobody wants to see Britt Baker ever again. That's how bad it's gotten in there. That's how bad it's got to. Now, Britt Baker, we know, is a former AEW Women's World Champion. She won the title back in 2021. She was in the middle of the AEW biggest locker room beef that we know. Most of the heat came in 2022, 2023, when it was the whole Britt Baker, Thunder Rosa, thing where, Britt Baker, she went on social media. She exposed Thunder Rosa for reportedly sandbagging her opponents and her. It was her and a few other people in AEW, like Jamie Hayter and other names to few. But it says that Rosa did apologize for her contributions to that thing, and there were no other issues with Thunder Rosa since then. Now, of course, we know recently that she got suspended back in, I want to say this past summer, for an incident with MJF that was said to arise when Britt Baker was badmouthing MJF's real-life girlfriend, AEW interviewer Alicia Atout. And you know that Britt Baker was out, and I heard Tony Khan was really hot about that. But they said that the backstage environment with Britt Baker has been wild. Independent wrestling legend Lou Fustio said she heard Britt Baker doing things like politicking to protect her position and set others up to look bad in the ring. So Britt Baker, she's really not looking good right now. I know it's been a lot with her. Remember, she cut that promo when she returned that she had almost a mini stroke. Almost a stroke, I think, symptoms of a stroke. We do know, too, that she went through a breakup with her former boyfriend, Adam Cole, Bebe. I spoke about that on this channel. It was speculation that those two weren't together, and turned out they wasn't. And then also, too, when Britt Baker came back, I heard reportedly that she not only had issues with Thunder Rosa and MJF, also issues with Mariah May. She had other issues with women in the locker room. The thing about it is, Britt Baker, she is, like she said in her promos, the pillar of AEW when it comes to the women's division. She is the first woman signed to AEW when it first started back in 2019. Now, Britt Baker, yes, she does a little too much when she goes to social media or when she voices her opinion a little too much. And Tony Khan, it seemed like in the very beginning, there wasn't too much going on. Britt Baker was quiet, but in the past several years, her name pops up otherwise in the locker room, and she's always going off on somebody, or maybe it's a disagreement, whatever the case may be. But now, Britt Baker, she went from being the AEW Women's World Champion, and now she's not even on television. And that's not good for Britt Baker. Now, the reason I say that, her contract, she did sign a contract, a multi-year contract back in September 2021. And we know multi-year contracts, they mostly last for about approximately 4 to 5 years. The least, maybe 3. Now, Britt Baker being such a very, very big part of AEW, its success, especially being one of the pillars of the women's division, she probably signed 4 or 5 years. But here's the thing, like I said in the beginning, Tony Khan is known for adding injury time to someone's contract before it expires. Now, I said she was out about approximately 9 months. So if her contract, let's say, we'll ballpark it here, 4 years. That means she signed in 21, it'll be September 2025. So if that would be her original contract, I'm guessing, without injuries. Now, if you want to add the injuries to that, I would say she would be approximately June 2026. But either way, that's still a while from now. That's pretty much, I want to say a year and a half from now, if that's her contract. Now, Britt Baker, I know she started an independent wrestling scene back in, 2017, 16, 17. She was independent before AEW started. I see Britt Baker going to WWE. Britt Baker go to WWE, she could crush it as long as she is, it's not a locker room causing any problems in the locker room. As long as she's good. I know she has some beef with Cody Rhodes, his wife Brandy Rhodes, and with Cody. If she can get on the same page with Cody and others in WWE, I think she will come to WWE and thrive. Now, it raises the question, where would she go when she first arrives to WWE? Do she go straight to the main roster for Raw and SmackDown brands? Or do she immediately go to the developmental territory, as we know is called WWE NXT? Now, we know NXT is definitely came a long way from start from 2012, being on WWE Network, then being on USA Network that they just left this past year, and now on CW Network. And with the partnership with TNA, I think that could really get Britt Baker's name out there, mainstream a little bit more. I know she was probably AEW, but she could have that popularity in WWE. Because let's face it, Britt Baker, I know she was not the best wrestler when she first started, but she's definitely improved in the past several years. I think if she does that work with WWE's developmental system, I think she could really take it to the top. I could see her having feuds with Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Bayley. She could have feuds with Tiffany Stratton, Julia, Stephanie Walker, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, whatever. All the names of the popular women in WWE. I think she'll do a great job there because AEW clearly is not the place for her anymore. Now, she really, like I said, she came to prominence 2020, 2021-ish. She really did her thing there. She had good feuds there. She was a heel, very good heel. She was known for being a babyface, but she really took it to the top there during the COVID era. But it's just time for Britt Baker to leave. And let's face it, we not got to put this all on Britt. AEW environment, it's not the best work environment. Let's look what's happened over the past several years. We had Cody Rhodes, who was the executive vice president. He left. He's a WWE. We also had CM Punk. He left to go back to WWE. Jay Cargill went back to WWE. Andrade went back to WWE. And let's not forget, I know I'm talking about Britt Baker. It's another news. Reportedly, Malachi Black, or if you want to call him Malachi Black, or whatever his name is in AEW, Malachi Black was going back to WWE. I heard he's almost done with AEW. He wants out of there. So it may not be all Britt Baker. It's the problem. It may just be AEW is a problem. And I'm referring to the founder and CEO, the great Tony Khan. Give me a break. I'm just saying, so she needs to get out of there sooner than later. But she's locked into that contract, and she's also got the injury time added to it. It's going to make it much longer. The only thing about it is by the time Britt Baker contract is, done, she can go. She's what, 30? I want to say 33. Gonna be 34 this year. She'll be about 35, going on 36, or just turned 35 by the time, approximately, according to the contract terms that I saw. That's the only thing about Britt Baker. I don't know if she still have much more time left in her career, because we know the landscape of WWE, it changes in a blink of an eye. Next one moment, you got this group of women on this show, then you got the group of women NXT going to that show, and then a new slew of women come into NXT. So that's the whole thing with Britt Baker and her old prominence. But I believe her time at AEW is up. I don't believe there's nothing else for her there. Now, she's been AEW Women's World Champ. I thought she would have won it multiple times, like Toni Storm or Hikaru Shida, but she's not. I know that she's very cool. I know the politic they mentioned, I know she was also put on by Kenny Omega when he was running things. We know he just came out to AEW and looks like he don't want to be there either. So it's not just much Britt Baker is the problem. I'm not saying she's perfect or she hasn't caused problems in the past, but it's not all on her. It is the whole work environment of AEW, and I call it a toxic work environment. That's what AEW has created over the past several years. Many, many people that work for AEW or have worked for AEW have complained about Tony Khan, how he does business. Now, Tony Khan, when AEW first started, it would be the alternate company, but he slowly is turning into Vince McMahon the way he does things, and he's not running the company like a boss. He's treating everyone, instead of like their employees like he should, he's treating everyone like they're his friends or enemies in this case. And that's the whole problem, and it's too much tribalism within AEW. There's got this group over here in AEW, that group over there, and this group over there. So with that being said, Britt Baker, it's just time for her to go. I really hope she finds out the best opportunity and she gets out soon. And that's all I have for Britt Baker out of AEW for WWE. The end of Britt Baker AEW. You guys let me know what you think of that situation of Britt Baker leaving AEW. Soon to reveal some popular guys. Click the links below. You already know what it is. OUT.